Hey, my name's Sean. Welcome to Echoes in Eternity Bourbon. Today it's Sunday, got a few things to unpack, talk about a few things. Some of you might know I'll be heading to Italy Friday and I won't be back until the following Saturday. This is for a work trip. I'm very excited about it. Gives me an excellent opportunity to do some things and to grow within my company, hopefully. But I'm looking forward to that. But while I'm there, I'm planning to try to do some bourbon hunting. If what's possible, I know I'll be in Rome for Saturday and part of Sunday, and then I'll be in Milan the last day before I head out. Try to hit some of the duty free shops. Try to see if I can find some liquor stores that might have some things that I can bring back that I'd be very interested in. So if you guys have had any luck hunting bourbon in Italy, let me know. I appreciate it. A few things here. First, another barrel proof Jack Daniels. I absolutely love the barrel proof Jack Daniels. For me, it's $69.99, $70 bottle. You're getting a ton of flavor, some excellent proof. It's just something that for me, I can't find usually a better bottle at that price point unless I'm getting something out of a points program at MSRP. I'm not going to find a lot better juice than Jack Daniel's single barrel. This one actually happens to be a bottle shop selection, the bottle shop, aka my Mistress. So they not only had one, but two barrels that they were able to get this year that they were able to do their own picks on. This is the second barrel. So what this does now is it gives me four open Jack Daniels barrel proof store pick selections. I've got barrel one from Bottle Shop, barrel two now from Bottle Shop, which I'm going to review today. I've got the ABC selection that I got earlier this year, thanks to a friend of mine, Jeremy, who clued me in on that. And then also I've got the Hero selection, which I did last week. So what I'm going to do eventually with those is I'm going to do a blind with those, so I could figure out which of these four that I like the best. And of course, when I do blinds and things like that, sometimes there might be an opportunity for someone to get something outside of that as well. So today, as you notice, I've got three of the Redwood Empire cask strengths up here. Today we ended an opportunity for someone to get three samples of this. I'll announce that at the end of the video. Also, give some of my other thoughts on some things that when I was out and about this week that I found out about. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is pretty cool. And also share some of the bottle kills from this past month. But we'll get started into the Jack Daniels, see what we get on this. Great oils off the bat. Banana bread. You get the bananas, get the cinnamon, tiny bit of the oak in there. It's not overpowering on the oak on here. This smells more like a bakery or anything to me right now up the front. Getting some vanillas in there. Tiny bit of cinnamon. Wow, that was interesting. Cinnamon. Let's see what we got. Wow, that is sweet. Whoa. This is only coming in at 126, what, 0.3 proof. You get that nice hug. Wow, this is coming in super sweet. If I was going to say I was going to drink a dessert or drink, yeah, this would be it. I mean, swear this almost makes me feel like it's been finished in something. This is just overpoweringly sweet. I absolutely love this. This is hitting a lot of notes for me right off the bat. I mean, I'm almost getting like a thick honey on this. It's just so sweet and so thick in the mouth. I'm getting some of the banana on the back now. Getting a little bit of the cinnamon on the back. It's got some spice on the tongue, but this is just super sweet. I'm just like, wow. For me, when you get a bourbon that's got some sweet to it, you're definitely going to hook me right off the bat. But this has got a nice finish to it too. It's just sitting on the back of my throat and the back of my palate. Get the heat just kind of slowly creeping on you, not overburning you or anything like that. Very, very impressive pour. That initial shock of the sweet is kind of dissipating a little bit. When you're getting some of the more, I'd say the smaller taste on the palate, the more refined taste. I'm getting some of the leather and the tobacco in the back, bit of a tobacco in the back, some of the oak. But that initial sweet was just like diving into some kind of a candy bar that was just filled with caramel and honey. This bottle could be very, very dangerous for me. I can see that I'm going to have to get a backup bottle of this one right away. I was fortunate enough to get a backup of the first barrel. I might need a couple backups of this second barrel. For me, the Jack Daniel's barrel proof this year have been outstanding. They've been outstanding pours. I've absolutely loved them. There's all this is old number 7, but it's aged longer. It's left at a barrel proof instead of watered down to 80 proof. You know, it's been left in the barrel longer, and it just gets such deep, intense flavors. This barrel pick, I thought the number 1 was probably my favorite of the year. This could challenge for my favorite of the year. I mean, I'm fairly impressed with this. For 126 proof, it's not burning me up. It coats the mouth very, very well. And then you get a lot of the subtle flavors after the initial shock of the sweet goes away. You get some of the traditional bourbon flavors on the back. Very impressed with this. Definitely looking forward to seeing now. I was curious how this was going to turn in. This was actually a little bit lighter proof than some of the others that I have. But this right now might be a hard challenger to beat. So looking forward to that. So if you're in the area in Columbus and you happen to go to the bottle shop, don't buy these. I need these. So you can get anything else you want, just don't buy these. Other than that, a couple things to talk about. Bottle kills. This was an interesting one because Master Pick, this is Master Pick 14. On the back, you know, it has the labeling on here that this is, oh, see, it is actually a label. See, I thought it wasn't a label. It is a label. But it's distilled and aged in Indiana, which means this is MGP juice. But on the actual bottles underneath that, they're talking about that they're distilled in Kentucky, which means that they'd have been Jim Beam juice. So there's some that are MGP, there's some that are Jim Beam. Well, I happened to pick up a 15 the other day, and on the back it said distilled in Kentucky. So originally they had told me, hey, well, we're going to get some in, it's MGP. Well, when I read the back, it's telling me it's distilled in Kentucky. I'm thinking this has got to be Beam juice. So when I went into the party shop to pick up something, Danny at the party shop says, hey, Sean, it's MGP juice. I'm like, but it says it's distilled in Kentucky on the back. He says, no, Matt, who's the owner out at Maple Party, has gotten confirmation that this is MGP juice. They just didn't label it correctly. And he says he's got some emails on that. And I said, Danny, I would love to see that. But this 15 for me was very, very good. The 14s have both been excellent. I'm waiting to see how this one opens up a little more. But he's telling me this is MGP juice too, even though on the back they just don't have the labels on there to show that it was aged in Indiana. So that's another 15-year MGP. But this was one that, you know, we drank of the rest of this month. It was an excellent bottle. Sad to see it go, but I do have a backup of that. So I have some opportunities for some other taste offs in the future. This one right here, this was like one of my favorite bottles of the year. That just one of those flying under the radar. The Master Pick, you know, that kind of flew under the radar for I think a lot of people. This one as well. This King of Georgia. This is a 15-year-old MGP light whiskey. And to be a light whiskey, it means that, you can't be a bourbon, because bourbon's got to be put into the barrel at like 160 proof to a certain other proof point. Where this, when you have a light whiskey, it's put in at like 180 proof. So it wouldn't be considered a bourbon. It's just put in at a higher proof into the cask. And what that does is it takes out some of the things that potentially cause hangovers. It also takes out some of that burn you get when you're drinking a high proofer. This one right here is a 15-year-old, and it's at 135.6 proof. But it doesn't drink like 135.6 proof. That's the point of a light whiskey, is you can drink it without hopefully getting a hangover, and you can get that incredible flavor from the high proof, but it's not going to burn you up. Like, it's not going to drink super hot. So that was awesome. That was a great bottle. I like that bottle so much. I got a couple backups of that. There was only 120 bottles, and there's actually a couple subscribers that now have some bottles of this as well. And they both had the opportunity to taste it before they purchased the bottles, which was cool. I actually left sample up at Maple Party Shop, and people were able to get a sample of that and try that before they purchased it. And the gentleman there actually purchased the last bottle. Scott was one that purchased the last bottle. Also, there's also another member on here, Terrence. He's awesome guy. He's got family in Georgia. He was able to get a bottle as well. So glad to see that. Like I said, this was one of the bottles that, kind of flew under the radar, I think, for the year, but really surprised me, really loved it. And, I hate to see this one go, but a lot of people got to test this and taste this. So I'm excited to see where it goes in the future, because I think they have a bright future there. The last bottle was the old Jack Daniels. This was the first barrel. This is the one that I fell in love with early in the year. And I was like, man, that's a great bottle. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get another great bottle like that. So I have a backup of that one. But now we've got an excellent contender up here in this one right here. So in the future, you're going to see a 4 Jack Daniels barrel proof store pick kind of blind off to see what we get on there. I'm interested to see on that day which of the 4 what I think best fits my palate. Doesn't mean it's going to be best for your palate, but it just would happen to be the best for my palate that day. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So these were the 3 bottles that I killed this month. I thought I had another one, but maybe I don't. Maybe it accidentally hit the trash. Wow. I get just a tiny bit of licorice on the back of this now too. Just super sweet. So we talked earlier that do have someone that won a sample of all 3 of the cask strength Redwood Empires. I'm very excited to get that in their hands. I like to make sure people have an opportunity. The whole point of bourbon is to, sit around if you can with some people, chew the fat, talk a little bit, have some fun, and see, hey, is that something that I really, really like? Or is that something I'm interested in the future? So I think what this will do is it'll give someone an excellent opportunity to see, number one, do I like the Redwood Empires, and what do I think of the cask strengths? And then, do I want to check it out versus some of their regular proofs, which is something I'm going to be doing in the future. I want to see how well their cask strengths compare to some of the standard offerings. Is it worth the extra $40 for a cask strength over the regular offering? So I can get 2 at 90 proof, or I can get 1 at 117, 118 proof. Which one is going to be the most enjoyable to me? Better put these in order so I know how to mark them later, because that could be real interesting too. All right, and the last one will be this rye over here. And I'm sure you guys maybe heard on the videos or know already, but if you haven't, the Redwood Empire is based out of California, and they name all of their whiskeys. Whether you're a rye or whether you're just a good blended whiskey, or whether you're one of their bourbons, they name them after the redwoods there. So you've got the Emerald Giant on one, you've got Pipe Dream on another, you've got the Lost Monarch on another. So it's really cool that you've got all three of these that are named after redwoods in California, which I think is awesome. And I really enjoyed all three of these. So without further ado, the winner on this is someone that I think is outstanding for this, and that's Jeremy Ledford. For those who know, Jeremy was one of the first people that kind of discovered my channel. Actually met him at the Bourbon Drops here in Alabama. Great guy, someone that's been able to put me onto some great bourbons, someone that helps me out in a lot of different ways, and it was great to see him get selected on this too. So I'll put that up when I put it in the randomizer, him popping up on there. This was from the Memorial Day video. So Jeremy, I hope you enjoy all these. I'm gonna get your thoughts on these. For those that don't know, Jeremy was also one of the people that did the 12 blinds. I gave 4 different people 12 different bourbons blind, and I wanted them to rate them out. And Jeremy, he's like the overachiever, so he had them rated out pretty quick, and got me back the data. I'm still waiting on a couple who were about halfway through, but one had some work obligations, the other had some family obligations, and this is fun. You got to take. I'm all about faith, family. And then work, and you take care of those faith and family first. Your work's going to come easy, and then comes the fun. So when they got an opportunity to finish up the fun, these last two, we'll get in the results, and I think it's going to be a real interesting video. Just looking at some of the different opinions on some of the different whiskeys that went out. I'm very interested to see how all four compare. You could tell right off the bat who someone's not a rye fan. You could also tell off the bat on some things that, there's some difference of opinion on things, which is cool. So when you get all four of them together, I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see what the collaboration would bring once you put 4 people that had 12 of the same samples and what their opinions are. So that should be a lot of fun. But Jeremy, congratulations on the Redwood Empire cask strength. Looking forward to when I get back from Italy doing a blind on all 4 of these Jack Daniels. Also getting some information on that MGP 15 year, that it isn't actually an MGP and they just mislabeled it, which I think is pretty interesting too and cool. But I hope you're all having a fantastic Sunday. We're getting some thunderstorms rolling in out here, which I absolutely love. A nice thunderstorm at the beginning of the summer. Y'all have an amazing evening. Thank you.